Hello and welcome to the Granite State Yarns podcast. My name is Lauren and I'm coming to you from the great state of New Hampshire. You can find me on Instagram at Granite State Yarns as well as on my website www.granitestateyarns.com. Today is Friday, August 20th, and I am here to talk to you about my current knitting adventures. I've got some socks today, I've got a sweater, and I've got some new yarn that I got, so let's get into it. Okay, first off, I think I'm going to talk about some of the socks that I talked about in my last podcast, and we can see how far I've gotten. I have been working on my husband's Arethusa Falls socks. Here I am. I just turned the heel last night and got a few more rows in while I was running some errands today. This is the second sock. Here's my first one. I believe I talked about last time. So this one I got down to about here on so I got like the whole leg done before I realized it partway through, but was just like, no, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. But I realized upon finishing the leg that my gauge was definitely much looser on this sock than it was on the first sock that I did. So like I said, I was in denial for most of the sock there and was just, no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. It really wasn't fine. It was really significantly looser. So I ended up having to rip back all of this work, which I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours of work. And it took me, I don't know, some time to finally sit down and get back to where I was on here. I was just kind of bummed. I mean, if you remember in my last podcast, which was 2 weeks ago, I was hoping to get the whole pair done by Sunday, and here I am 2 weeks later, and I am still halfway done this sock. So eventually I'll get them done. Like I said, I'm in not a major rush or anything to get them done, but I've been excited to get them finished, and it would be nice if I had them finished, but what are you gonna do? Gauge is one of those things, we try to figure it out with the needles that we're using, but sometimes just life happens, and I don't know if I was just like extra stressed out or something for the first sock they're definitely, my gauge is, the fabric seems about right. And like I said, this is a really stretchy sock, but I don't think I was stressed out or anything. I think it was just my usual gauge. And then when I did the other one, for whatever reason, I was just kind of, what I think it is? I was knitting this sock with my baby in my lap, for a good, because what I was doing whenever I had a free moment, I was working on the sweater that I'm going to talk about, which whenever I didn't have the baby with me, I wanted to work on that sweater. And so when I did have the baby napping on me, I was tending to reach for the sock because it's a lot easier to knit on a sock than it is to knit on a sweater with a baby in your lap. And I think she's getting really big. She's 5 months old now. So I think when I'm trying to knit with her, it's a little bit harder to, I don't have my knitting up real close to me. I kind of have it far away. I'm also kind of holding her with my arms and using all of this extra energy to kind of keep her supported. And so I think I just wasn't able to put as much energy into the meticulous little knits that I was working on. So maybe that's why it came out a little bit looser. And so now I've been working on this mainly in the car or, at night if my husband's holding the baby or if she's being held by somebody else or even sleeping on her own occasionally. So I think that made a big difference. And then just being aware that I really need to make sure that I'm snugging up on my stitches. Like I've said before, I tend to be a really loose knitter, so it's pretty easy for me to kind of fall back into being too loose. I have to knit. These are size 0 needles. Usually for socks, most people tend to do size 1s. But I have to do 0s because that's how loose I knit. Which, it's not unusual to do that. But Anyway, I do have to be, cognizant of not being too loose, I guess. So, anyway, we're, about halfway done here. They're chugging along. Just got to finish this foot here, and we will have a pair of socks for my husband. I'm going to try to get these done for Sunday, but I don't know. We'll see. So that's what I said last time. I think I'd like to talk a little bit about the yarn cozy that I'm using. This is from Mountain State Stitches. I've talked about this before. And I've been really pleased with this. I usually I pull from the outside, and for this one, because of the cozy, I've been pulling from the inside for this sock, and it worked really well. When I had to rip back, I was, okay, I'm like, now what do I do with all of this extra yarn? Because I can't just like stick it back in the cake. So what I did was wrap it around the outside here, and it worked perfectly. So, still really happy with this cozy. It's been nice. My cake is starting to get a little smushy because so much of it has been pulled out, and it's all staying together really nicely. So I'm definitely still really, really happy with this. Okay, I'm back. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, and I'm going to try this again. My tripod is a very inexpensive tripod from Amazon, and it just likes to go crazy sometimes. So I've had issues with the tripod, and then I'm on the floor right now. Like, I just adjusted the tripod because originally I was up on my kneeling, and now my feet are kind of falling asleep. So now I'm sitting on a couple of pillows, but it's a little bit lower, and so yeah, I've had to readjust everything. So anyway, that's all neither here nor there. Okay, so back to talking about works in progress. I have a pair of socks here in my summer sock camp bag from Stolen Minutes, and these are the Leaf Peepin' DK socks that I was working on. And I don't remember how far I was last time, but I have gotten just past the heel turn. So this is my second sock. Let's see if I get the first one out here. Here's number one. Number two is nearly there. So I've got two pairs of socks that are just about at the same place. So yeah, I would like to get these finished. They really don't have a whole lot much more work to them because these are DK and they go really quickly. But they're also DK socks, and it's 85 degrees today, and so nobody's really super in need of these socks right now, so I'll get them done. I want to get them finished so I can enter them into the summer sock camp knit along, which I believe goes into the end of the month. So I've got a couple more weeks to get this pair done and that last pair, so I am going to get them finished because I want to get them entered because there are a lot of really fun prizes. Actually, I do have some yarn that I donated to those prizes too, so I am wishing everybody luck because there's, from what I can gather watching the Crazy Sock Ladies podcast there, she's got a lot of really fun stuff up for grabs. So we will see what happens. It's going to be really exciting. I never win those things anyway, but it's always fun to at least try to win and see all the cool yarn and patterns and other things that people have donated. So, all right, so those are my two socks that I do have a third pair. This is, did I talk about these last time? I don't think I did. These are this is the first sock in my All Hallows Eve colorway with the pumpkin mini. This is the first one. And again, this one's in my Arethusa Falls pattern. And this is actually going to be a knit along that I'm going to host on in the month of October to go along with the spooky season stitch along that Allison Clark of Stitchery & Co. is hosting. So she's gonna have I'm gonna do a video about this to get just specifically for this, but the quick details about it anyway. Allison Clark from Stitchery & Co. is teaming up with me as well as Robin from Teeny Button Studios. And we have some yarn and some patterns. This is a knit pattern. Allison also has a crochet sock pattern. And then Robin and I both have colorways to kind of do this celebration for Halloween and Socktober. And so we're going to be, we have some pre-orders set up for this yarn. And yeah, so this is All Hallows Eve. And it's a like a pastel purple with some more purple spots and speckles. There's some, if you look really closely, some really subtle blues and greens and oranges. And so this is a really fun little sock. This is for my, this is a size small, and this one I knit up for my 10-year-old. Because as I've said before, size small socks work really well for a more of a petite adult, but you'd be surprised you can really stick little kids' feet in them quite well. And this is like just absolutely stretched on my medium sock blocker, so I'll take it off. But I do, she's tried them on, they fit her great. So I just did like a couple of rows in the pumpkin up here, and then I believe, yeah, I did 10 rows of ribbing, and then a couple of repeats of the pattern, and then did the heel turn again in the pumpkin mini, and then just did a couple of rows of the pumpkin again here on the toe. So it made this kind of a little bit different than I usually would. So yeah, these are really fun. So again, I'll have more details about the knit along that I'm going to be hosting. So basically the stitch along is for, you know, anything that you want to make in October. If you want to join in on the fun, use that hashtag on Instagram. Allison's going to have a bunch of giveaways and other fun things. And then as part of that, I'm going to be hosting my own knit along for this pattern. You don't have to use this yarn, but my knit along is going to be for this pattern. So if anyone's interested, you can go to my website and either pre-order the yarn or buy the pattern. It's an instant download. And so that'll be a lot of fun. So again, I'm going to have a video explaining this better. I actually do have a blog post currently, so I'll link to that below if anybody's interested in those details. So that'll be fun. That's coming up. All right, so those are my current sock works in progress, and now I'd like to talk about, I finally started a sweater. I've been kind of talking about wanting to cast on a sweater for, I don't know, the last couple months, and I finally did it. Everybody who commented last podcast and gave me, or I think it was the last podcast or whenever it was, and gave me advice on sweater patterns. Like, I saw so many beautiful, beautiful sweaters that these amazing designers have come up with. So if you're looking for any great ideas for mostly people were suggesting cardigans, but a couple other random, and if nothing else, to get some really great designers that I hadn't known about, take a look at the comments on my last video because there's some great ideas there. So I have got a bunch of stuff all set for future sweaters, but for this one I really wanted it to be DK weight because that was the yarn that I had, and I wanted it to be a cardigan. So that was at least I was able to kind of, you know, focus on a specific kind because there's so much really great stuff out there. But what I ended up going with is the Winter's Beach cardigan by Andrea Mowry. And I don't know if I have any really, there's a couple, I don't want to show too much of the pattern here, but like here's a detail of the pocket that's in this sweater. It's got some amazing cabling on it. I'm showing the pocket, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to put the pocket in. I should have enough yarn to do this, but I'm kind of cutting it a little bit close. So I am not positive that I am going to do a full length sleeve. I might do like a bracelet length, and then I'm not sure if I want the pockets, if I have a short, I don't know. We'll see. I might just not do the pockets, but you can get, at least anyway, you get a really good view of the cabling there. Here's another picture. Actually, it's just It is such a pretty sweater. I'm really excited about it. Like the nice cabling that goes up the front here. I don't know if I can get that to focus. Ah, there we go. That's so much better. But yeah, there's really nice cabling that's going up. Oh, it's just so pretty. And it looks so cozy, and just, it's going to be perfect for the fall and winter. So I'm really happy about it. So, you know, I'm telling you all about it. Maybe I can actually show you guys my sweater so far. So it is knit from the bottom up, which I really wanted it to be top down, but ended up going with the bottom up because I just really fell in love with this pattern. So here it is so far. I'm actually in the middle of a row. Really great here, but that's okay. Here's where the cabling is. And I talked about this on Instagram, but Andrea Mowry suggested that you do the cables without a cable needle. And now I've done, you know, like twisted stitch cables where, you know, you can go into one, like, so, and it's just like a 1/1 cable. I think that's what it's called, but it's a 1/1 cable. There's a way to just knit into the, whatever, you could look into it. Cause I haven't done it very much to like really be able to describe it super well. So, I'm like, oh, so there's a way to do cables, like big cables. You can do those without a cable needle. And so she has a video on her website on how to, or her YouTube channel on how to do cables without a cable needle. And it's such a simple thing that you're just, you know, pinching the stitches when you pull them off so that way they don't unravel at all. It's such a simple process, but it's something I'd never thought about before. So when you see it, it's just like completely mind-blowing. And then I asked on Instagram, like, has anybody else ever heard about this before? Like, this is completely changing my life. And now I want to knit all the cables because it's just making it so easy to not have to worry about having the cable needle. And I dropped the cable needle and I lost it on the couch. Now the kid's playing with it and whatever. To be able to do cables without having to worry about any of that. Like, it completely just changed my life. And so I asked about it on Instagram, and it turns out that, like, I don't know, I think it was somewhere like 3/4 of you have already been made aware of this magic that is the cables without a cable needle. And so I kind of felt like I'm pretty much the last person on the planet to hear about this. But so that was really, that was fun. I'm like, oh, here I am. I think like, oh, I'm such a great knitter. I know all this stuff. And then everybody else already knows about cabling without a cable needle. But if you don't know about it, you've got to look into it, because I know for myself, I like cables, but you know, I always felt like it was just like all this extra work with the needle, with the cable needle and everything. And to find out like, oh, you don't need this. It's just amazing. Except that now all I want to do is knit all of the cables. So anyway, that has made this just go so easily. The only trouble that I have still is that like sometimes I'll forget when you move it on to the working needle. Sometimes I forget to put it back on to the left-hand needle. And so there's been a few times I've had to like think back a little bit when I realized, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot to do that. So that's something I just have to practice with, and I know I'll get the muscle memory for it. But I've made that mistake a couple times. Actually, there's been a couple times I've gone back on the purling row and I've realized that I had skipped those stitches, but it's easy enough to just pull up there's enough slack. Like if I had to do it a lot, I think it would be a problem, but there's enough slack that for like a couple times where I've had to just pull up the stitches, whatever. It's totally okay. So this has a really nice, like, I always get my seed stitch and my moss stitch confused, but whichever one this is, it's got that panel in the back and in the front here. So this sweater, it's going to be really fun. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I love this color. This is Lolo did it in Fame. The sweater's going to definitely take a while. I've worked, like when I first started, I was, like I said, I was obsessed with it. And so this probably is like a good 4 days of work here where I was really just focused on this sweater. But then I've been kind of getting distracted by other things as what happens. And so this is, but it's okay. I'm going to get it done. Like I said, it's 85 degrees out right now. So I'm in no like major, huge rush to get this sweater done because it's going to be super, super warm. Yeah, I was saying I'm thinking about doing the sleeves bracelet length. Did I say that right? Bracelet length. Oh, I don't even know. I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound a little congested, and my brain is just kind of a mess at the moment. It's just nothing major, just a little like head cold. It's all in my sinuses, but it's enough that I'm just kind of feeling a little swimmy. Anyway, it's okay. I'm getting better. Almost there. I'm over the hump anyway. It's just in that like whatever stage. So there's my sweater. There are the socks. I did forget something, so I'm gonna go pause this and I'm gonna go get it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's chat scrappy blankets, okay? So I did a corner to corner crochet scrappy blanket with my sock scraps and started a second one. Like I think I finished the first one last year and loved it so much that I started a second one. So here is corner to corner crochet blanket number 2. And it's getting pretty big. I don't know how much this is, maybe 2 feet long? Oh, maybe a little more than that. Yeah, it's actually probably 3 feet long so far. But anyway, kind of lean back here. I really, really, really like this blanket. So you make a magic knot ball with it. I mean, I'm not the first person to do this. There's plenty of other tutorials on there on how to do these, but so I just take my sock scraps and I make a big ball with like a magic knot that it's supposed to. I have had it come undone a couple of times in my other blanket, so it's certainly not like foolproof, but I'm not too worried about it. It's just a crochet blanket, so like if it comes undone, I just make a knot, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's easy enough to repair. And it's just a scrappy blanket, so I'm not too worried about it. And it just makes it so much easier. You don't have all of these ends to weave in. So I think it's completely worth it. So anyway, I really like this blanket. It's just nice, mindless, fun crocheting. It's a little switch up from the usual knitting that I do. So I've got this one going. And then I do have a knitted scrappy blanket as well, because I have just got scraps and minis and all of these. Like here's my other bin. So I also have, let me dig deep down into this bin of sock yarn and pull out my Cozy Memories blanket. This one's actually getting rather big. I have it folded up right now. Oop. Here are the needles for it. And yeah, so I've got my Cozy Memories blanket here. Peekaboo. So this one though, see all this, I have some of the ends woven in, but not many of them. I've got so many. Oh, I don't want to look at it. There's so many back there. But anyway, I also absolutely love this blanket, but I needed another scrappy blanket because I saw Noble Character Crafts Hexy Scrappy blanket that she won a blue ribbon at her I don't know if it was the county fair or the state fair. Anyway, she won a blue ribbon and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous blanket. And so I was watching the tutorial on how to crochet that the other night, and I'm like, I need to do one myself. So I know I already have these other scrappy blankets that I'm working on, but I need a Hexy scrappy blanket of my own. So I started this one, and it's just a little tiny baby blanket. Well, I'm not planning on having this be a baby blanket. I'd like to make it a lot bigger. I think it would make a great blanket like on my bed or something. I think it's so much fun. It's, you know, I love the multicolors. I love the hexagons. It's just unique and different. It's so fun. So I'll link to the video below, but it's great. You just crochet, and then you want to crochet in the ends. So I do have some ends here and there, but for the most part they get crocheted in, and so you just snip them as you go. It's not going to be too much to weave in. They'll still be there, but that's okay. And so I just you use 3 different colors, and then you attach. So you do the center and then the second color, and then as you crochet around there, you attach to the blanket. So it's nice. Like you get instead of having like stacks and stacks of hexagons that you then have to put together, you kind of put it all together as you go. So it's super fun, really easy. I have made a couple of mistakes here and there, and I've had, like, my hexagons end up with like 7 sides. I don't know what I'm doing. There's been a couple times. So you're supposed to have 12. I don't know how to really describe. I'm not a crocheter like nearly as knowledgeable about crochet. So, and then I forget stuff a lot too. But you're supposed to have 12 little spokes, I guess, is what be at least one way to describe it. And a few times I've ended up with 13. And then when I do that, it ends up messing up my hexagon. So that's been a little frustrating to, like, you get it all done and then you're like, why does it look funny? And oh, it's because I made a mistake. But whatever, it's okay. It's just crochet, whatever. You just rip it out, do it again. Not a big deal. But this has been so fun. If it looks anything like Noble Character Crafts done, the one that she got finished, I'll be super excited. So yes, I have 3 Scrappy blankets in progress right now. So I'll be doing Scrappy blankets for the rest of my life because it's going to take just about forever to get all of these done, but that's okay. It's fun. I don't mind. So we've got that going on. And that has been those hexagons, just like I said, they've just been so much fun. I've been doing a lot of that instead of working on all of the other projects that I have. Ooh. So, yeah, I guess what I can talk about now is I got some more, actually here's some more sock scraps in here. I have got just sock scraps everywhere. Oh my goodness, you get in there. This is an old bag from Old Navy. Oh my goodness, I think I got this like 20 years ago. Yeah, tons more scraps in there. Okay, so I also, because I'm insane, bought more yarn. I didn't get a whole ton of stuff in the last few weeks, but I did buy the multi-pack of all of the new Felice colors that came in. I do really like Felice yarn, and I really enjoy using it for making socks for my kids. So I got the multi-pack, which is already discounted from what you would pay per ball ordinarily, but then I forget, were they having a sale? There was a coupon. I think that's what it was. They had a coupon code, so I was able to get some even more money taken off. So this worked out to be pretty reasonable price for all of this. So I have one of every Felice color, which, like I said, I usually like to do these for my kids. So one ball is definitely plenty to do a kid size sock. And I mean, I certainly can do like minis with these, especially I have so many sock yarn scraps, as you know, that I can use the scraps for like heels, toes, and cuffs, and then be able to like really stretch one ball. Because these are, if I remember correctly, they're $6.99 each. And then, like I said, if you buy the multi-pack, it's a little bit cheaper per ball. And then if you have a coupon code or they're on sale or anything, it really works out to be a pretty affordable sock yarn. So each of my kids picked out a color. So my 11-year-old picked out this one. This is the Red Rocks colorway. It's super bright. And then, let's see, nobody picked this one yet. This is the Psychedelic Sunset, which is a really fun rainbow color. I really like this one. And then we have Summer Nights, which how old is she now? I'm trying to remember. I'm having a complete, say 2000, she was born in 2013 and now it's 2020, so 8, yeah. My 8-year-old picked out this one. Another fun, actually all of these, they're really good colors this time around. I think a lot of really bright colors. Like I don't know, the last couple of Felici, I don't know, rounds of Felici, there's been some colors that I've liked and others that I've been kind of about, but every one of these were, I think they did a really good job this time. So my son picked out this color. This is Base Jump. This, I don't know, gives it a kind of a lot of oranges actually, looking at all of these. I think so far every one of these has had an orange, but that one's really cool. Definitely, this is good for a 3-year-old, I think. And then this one is Vampire Vibes, which I think they had released this one before, but this one's pretty fun. And this was, again, not a pick of, at least first round pick of any of my kids, but I will keep that there. I know someone's going to want it eventually. My 5-year-old picked this one. This is Game Over. This Under the Sea, which if I remember correctly is on sale right now. They're doing a once in a blue moon sale on Knit Picks right now. So I believe this one is actually discounted right now. Also really fun. Not done yet, not done yet. This is Desert Rose, which my almost 13-year-old picked. It's almost her birthday actually. Another orangey color. Some pinks and purples, really pretty. And then we have Speed Racer, which Dad, I know my father's watching. Makes me think of my father because he used to like to watch Speed Racer back in the day. I would not be able to knit him a whole pair of socks though with this yarn though. Not a full grown man, no. And then Mermaid Tails, which I don't even, oh, okay. I'm like trying to figure out, I have everyone's like initial to know, and I can't even read my handwriting. It's one letter and I can't even read. It's supposed to be a P for my 1-year-old. So yeah, Mermaid Tails, purple and teal. I like this one a lot. I don't know. Purple and teal is kind of a different mix. And some gray. That's really pretty. I really like this one. I think that's all of them. Yep, I have them squeezed into this bag that my friend made me. See if I can fit them all back in there. But yeah, so those are all of the new Felici colors. And like I said, I think that they really did a great job this time with the colors. So the kids were all really excited to get to pick out a color. My plan is to try to get, I like to knit them all a pair of socks for Christmas. So I should have enough time to get going on these. So that way I'll have them done for everybody for Christmas. They'll be just really easy knitting to keep in the car, work on them slowly as I try to get socks done for the 6 of them. I don't think I'm going to make a pair for my littlest one because, you know, baby socks, I don't know, they just kick them off anyway and they outgrow them so quickly. Although what I have done, I learned this from 72 Stitches on YouTube. She doesn't put a heel in her socks for her kids because they're still little enough that it doesn't matter if they, you know, if the socks don't fit super well because of the heel, you know, her kids don't seem to be too bothered by it. So for my little guys, that's what I'll do. Is I'll just knit a tube and do the toe, and then as their feet grow, it doesn't really matter. They get all that, you know, they can kind of wiggle their feet on there, and that works pretty well for little kids. The other thing you can do, I don't remember the name of the sock. I'll see if I can find the pattern and I'll link it down below. But I have seen people who do like a twisted ribbing, so that it's like a magic sock, I think was what it was called. magic heelless sock or something like that. And so because the sock is so stretchy and in this kind of a twist, it will just fit on your feet without putting a heel in. So there's that option as well. There's a few different heels out there now that I'm thinking about it. There was another one too where I don't remember the name. It came out last year. And I think it was just a ribbing over by the heel again. So that way you have like that extra stretch, so that way you can put your heel in without having to like have a really super accurate, you know, place to put the heel, which works well if you're making like gift knits or again for kids that their feet are always growing. Should look into that. Yeah, so anyway, I've got a pile of socks to do. I think I'll do for my 6th oldest, not the baby, because she doesn't need socks. She's just gonna kick them off anyway. My babies, I don't even put, they usually don't have socks on and they never have shoes on until they start walking. Although she's getting closer to it. She's, like I said, she's 5 months old now and she is like this close to crawling. And it's like, kiddo, you gotta slow down. She's growing too fast. Like, how does this happen, right? Like, I feel like she was just born and now she's like starting to like try to get up on her knees to crawl. It's like, kiddo, oh my goodness. So, yeah, I think that is, yeah, that's it for talking about the knitting. Let me just check my notes here. Yeah, that's it. So I guess a little bit of chit chat about what's going on right now. We have a hurricane that is bearing down on us. Hurricane, I think it's Henry. I always want to call it Henri because it's written kind of Frenchy. I don't even know if that's how you correctly pronounce it in French. I took a year of French in high school, and I mean I live kind of near Canada. My mother's family is French Canadian French. I can never remember which one it is. Sorry, but anyway, so Hurricane Henri, as I've been calling it, because I'm only reading the stuff online. I think everyone's calling him Henry, but it is coming down. The track right now, as of the last time I checked, is basically going right over our house. So that's going to be fun. We went out to the gas station today to get some gas for the car and get gas for the generator because we are pretty much certain that, you know, at least there's a possibility that we will lose power. And so we want to make sure that we have the generator all ready to go in case we do, because we've got, goodness, when my husband and I first got married, it was like ice storms and flooding, and it was really bad the first couple of years, and we did not have a generator at the time. And I remember my oldest daughter was just a baby when we had this horrific ice storm, and we're out of power for, I think it was a week. And so I don't want to deal with that ever again. Like we were fine. We were lucky. We stayed at my in-laws' house for the worst of it, because it was very cold. It was right before Christmas, and it was rather cold. And to have we had a brand new baby. She was born in September, so maybe September, October, November, December. She was about 3 months old when this happened. So that was fun. My in-laws had a generator, and so we stayed with them. My parents, they were out of power for, they may have been out of power for 2 weeks. I don't remember now exactly. It was awful. So when we moved to our house here, we definitely wanted to get the hookup for the generator. So we did that a couple years ago. So anyway, we have a generator now. We went out today to get gas for that. And, I think my husband's gonna go take a look down at the garden, make sure we pull out anything that's ready to go and try to shore things up for the wind and rain that we'll be getting. But my poor husband's been trying to grow corn the last few years, and we never have much luck, and now we're gonna have a storm probably blow down all the corn. Oh, poor guy. But so we've got that. It's bringing back memories of Hurricane Bob, which hit us 30 years ago. It's we get the remnants of tropical storms up here all the time, but we don't usually get the like full hurricane hit right directly over us here in New England. Although, I mean, it's is probably going to be, I think they're saying a category 1 when it hits. And then by the time it reaches us, it'll be like a tropical storm. But I do remember Bob 30 years ago. And I remember I was about 8 at the time, if I'm doing the math correctly. And I remember my father coming into my bedroom to wake me up that morning. And he's like, Lauren, wake up. We're going to have a hurricane today. And I broke down in tears. And Dad, my father, I know he and my mother watched these. Hi, guys. Dad, do you remember waking me up that morning? Because I so remember just breaking down in tears when you said we were going to have a hurricane, because I got hurricane and tornado confused. And I thought, it was going to be like the Wizard of Oz and the house was going to like fly up into the sky and it was going to be awful. And I cried and cried, and he had to console me and explain, no, it's a hurricane. It's a big storm, but it's just going to be some rain and wind, and maybe we'll lose power, but it's going to be okay. Like, don't worry about it. And it was fine. Everything was great. And I remember getting a kick out of it and enjoying it, because I keep banging into this thing. Whenever we would have thunderstorms growing up, we'd all kind of hang out in the garage, open up the garage doors and watch the thunder and the lightning. Well, not watch the thunder, but watch the lightning and listen to the thunder. Or we would get in the car and go drive down to the airport so we could see, all the lightning across the horizon. So as a kid, I always had we would make adventures out of bad weather like that. So, I have the memory of both Hurricane Bob being terrifying because I thought it was a tornado, and being, actually kind of, I don't know, interesting, I guess, as a kid. I mean, maybe it's hard too, because when I was 8, my parents aren't gonna frighten me and say, oh no, this is horrible, So I have this memory of a hurricane being, like I said, both terrifying but also fun. So I don't know what to think. I don't know what to expect for what's gonna happen. Except it's probably just gonna be a category 1 when it hits, and then it'll be a tropical storm by the time it hits us. So I'm not expecting anything too devastating for us. We probably won't get any flooding. We live on a hill, so we should be relatively safe. I would worry about roads flooding, but it shouldn't be too horrible up here. It's not like the Gulf Coast, Florida, Texas, where they've had just devastating storms. So it'll be interesting. It's supposed to hit Sunday night into Monday, so we will see. Did I mention we went to the gas station, got gas for the car and for the generator, so we'll be all prepared if we do lose power. Because we do live kind of way down a, whatever little town road. And so if we lose power, I don't know how quickly it would be that we would get it back if there's a whole lot of downed lines. I mean, we've never really lost power for more than a day or two how long have we been here? 8 years, I think. So anyway, I don't think it's going to be anything too major, but we want to be prepared. And I did just go grocery shopping, so we've got plenty of food. So we're all set there, but at the same time, I don't want to lose power for too long, because I've got all of this food in the fridge and in the freezer. We have our refrigerator is stocked and freezer, and then I also have a chest freezer downstairs. So we've got a lot of stuff. And when I was first married, we didn't have a generator. And so when we had ice storms, and because we had some pretty significant ice storms in the beginning of our marriage, and it would always happen after I go to the grocery store, and we would have to throw away everything, because I was always just really concerned about food poisoning. And so I'm of the option, or of the theory that obviously if you've only lost power for a few hours, it's okay. But if you're really not sure, especially with meat, I don't want to mess with that stuff. And meat's so expensive right now, I don't want to throw it away. Because I've got 9 people in this family. So when we buy meat, we buy a lot of meat. And I have, 2 weeks worth of stuff in the fridge right now. and I want to make sure that that all survives. So anyway, I'm very thankful that we have a generator right now. We have had the electrician come in a couple years ago to get us all hooked up, so it's nice and safe and everything's good. So we've got that. Have to shore up the garden, make sure that everything's okay. But other than that, I don't know what to do. I think we'll just kind of make sure that the toys are all brought in and the kids are excited because we'll probably spend the storm playing games together. We just got Ticket to Ride, which I'd been looking at for the last couple years, and I finally, for my daughter's birthday, got her the Ticket to Ride Europe. And I don't know if anyone has played that game. It is excellent. We are very much enjoying that. We've played it a number of times now. My 8-year-old and up has been able to play by themselves. And so, you know, that would be 3 kids and then my husband and I playing. And that has been excellent. Our 6-year-old, no, is she 6? Oh, there's a bunny. I can't remember now. I'm such a bad mom. Like, I can't remember how old they are. Is anyone else like that? Like, you go to the doctor's office and they ask, when's your kid's birthday? And you're like, and then hey, when's your birthday? Tell the lady, right? I can't remember. Anyway, she plays with my husband, usually, sometimes with me. I think she likes playing with Dad a little bit better. I don't know why, because I've won a couple times, so I don't know. I think she's going to want to be my partner now. So, so anyway, Ticket to Ride, excellent game. We have the European version, which I've heard some people say they like the European version more than the American version. I think that it's a little bit different with how you build some of the routes, but it's the same basic game because they have like all different versions of different maps and things. But anyway, you build like routes using trains to go to different cities, and it's just complicated enough that there's definitely some technique to it, but it's not so complicated that, you know, a kid can't learn it really quickly and feel confident with playing. So I really, 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 really like this game. So that's been a lot of fun. So the kids are looking forward to spending the hurricane playing Ticket to Ride. I don't know. That'll be cool. So it'll be a good family day. It's Sunday. We usually try to spend a lot of time together as a family on Sunday anyway. So just kind of, it'll work out. It'll be fine. So yeah, I guess that's the big thing going on right now. I get there's bunnies and squirrels out there. I keep getting distracted by them. So anyway, I guess that's enough chit chat for this podcast. Follow me on Instagram. I usually am there to give you, day-to-day details here and there, but I will be back very soon. So thank you so much. Hope you have a great week. See you later. Bye-bye.